A man who hadn't drunk a drop of water for 3 days immediately grabbed a cracked coconut as soon as he saw it. He quickly picked it up and smashed it hard against the stone wall. But when the coconut didn't break, he picked it up again and threw it once more. After doing this dozens of times, he lost control and started hitting the wall like a madman with the coconut. However, the wild coconut turned out to be much harder than he imagined. When he started coughing and feeling short of breath, he tried to split the coconut with the help of a sharp stone. But after hours of trying, he only got a few scratches on his hands. Holding back his anger, he lifted a large stone and struck with all his might. But even when the stone shattered, the coconut remained intact. Then his eyes accidentally caught the sharp edge of another stone. An idea popped into his mind. He began to slowly scrape the outer skin of the coconut with that sharp edge. As soon as a small gap appeared, he immediately rubbed that part hard. When he felt it was enough, he tried to open it with his hands, and the coconut really opened. When the white coconut fibers were visible, the man laughed happily. For him, the coconut was like a light of hope in the midst of darkness. He slammed the coconut to the ground to let the water out, but the inside was harder than he expected. The water spilled onto the ground. He felt as if all his hopes were shattered. However, learning from previous mistakes, he used a wiser method. He rubbed the stone until it made a small hole. His throat felt like it was burning. He drank a few drops of coconut water from the hole. It was little, but that water was like a gift of life for him. Now he had a reason to keep living. After resting for a while, he gathered his strength and lifted a 2-meter-long log. On the beach, he wrote a large SOS sign so that a ship or plane could see it. The water problem was solved, but surviving without food was impossible. So he decided to catch fish in the sea, but luck was not on his side. Instead of getting food, he saw a cave on the hill behind him. From the cave's entrance, a cold breeze chilled him to the bone, but curiosity drove him forward. How deep the cave was, he did not know. He shouted loudly, and an eerie echo came from inside. He was sure this island was not as peaceful as it seemed. Suddenly, his bare foot hit a rock and he bled. Staggering, he exited the cave. With his torn clothes, he made a bandage and wrapped his foot. That was his simple shoe, but it was still better than being barefoot. He gathered courage and climbed to the highest point of the island to ensure there was no danger. That's when he saw the shadow of someone in the distance on the beach. At first, he thought it was an illusion, but as he got closer, it turned out there was indeed someone lying there. Hope arose. Maybe it was a sign of rescue. He ran and immediately plunged into the water. However, when he turned the body over, its swollen face frightened him. Holding back his fear, he dragged the corpse to the beach and saw nice leather shoes on its feet. Compared to his cloth shoes, these were much better. Although a bit tight, with those nice shoes he tried to catch fish again. He sharpened the tip of the wood to make it sharp, but his skill was very poor. Until evening, he hadn't caught a single fish. Just as he was about to give up, he saw a flickering light in the distance on the sea. His hope was rekindled. He started waving his hands, but he quickly realized it was ineffective. He ran to take the flashlight from the corpse and signaled to the sea. His voice was gone and his hands were tired, but no one noticed him. As the light began to fade, he knew it was time to risk his life. He pushed his boat into the sea and began rowing. Each stroke brought him closer to hope, but it seemed as if fate had not yet allowed him to be rescued so quickly. A big wave came and almost capsized the boat, but he did not give up. This was the only chance. He couldn't turn back now. However, a few moments later he was exhausted and had to return to the island. Now the situation was getting worse. The weather changed and heavy rain began to pour.